Hey guys, today we're going to be putting a 15% window tint visor on my 4th gen Ram. So the things you're going to want is window film, some baby shampoo, some kind of spray bottle. You don't need a lot, you just need, a tablespoon, a couple tablespoons in a container like this, little spray bottle. You want your blue shop towels or normal paper towels, some spray away glass cleaner, some kind of razor knife, a squeegee, and a hard card's definitely nice. You could use a credit card if you don't have one. Most of these tools you could just pick up at Home Depot. First thing you're going to want to do is clean the outside of your windshield. Next thing you're going to want to do is measure across your windshield, leaving a little extra for length of film. So I use Global Window Film. It's a little side business I do. I'll be using the 15%. I have all my drop pieces I keep in a drawer right here. So I'll just be using one of those. Thing you're going to want to do is they come rolled up like this. Your film has a liner on the outside. In order to get across the windshield, you're going to want to reverse roll it. What I mean by that is turn it over and back roll it on itself the opposite direction. Reason for that is because your liner is on this side. If you put the liner down, that's your glue side. And so when you cut it out, you'll end up with the glue on the wrong side and you just wasted a piece of film. Now I'm sure you guys are still confused as why I reversed rolled that film. You don't have to do that if you have a helper, but I don't. So in order to get this film across my windshield easier, I reverse roll it, and then I'll show you. I'll go ahead and spray the windshield so it's got some soapy solution on there on the outside. I'll then roll it out, which is the reverse roll. It'll then put the glue on the proper side of the glass, so that way when I cut it out and then go to apply it on the inside, the glue will then stick to the inside of the glass. Now you can see how I rolled that out. It is now facing the right way. The protection film is, or protection layer is up. The film is on the bottom side of that. If I had not done that and rolled it out in the way it was rolled up, it would then have the film on the top, protection layer down. So then when I cut it out, my glue would then, when I peeled that layer, would be on the wrong side and it wouldn't stick to the window. And if you tried flipping it around, it's not going to fit. So anyways, we got that. So now we just need to measure up from the corners of the hood, decide where we want to place that film. So my film's laying on the outside here, and you can see it's way too far down. Some people might like that. I like to set in here and kind of look out the window and see, and me personally, that's right in my line of vision. I'd rather see it maybe a little higher up here. So typically what I go with is the bottom of your dot matrix here, and we'll just bring the bottom of the film up to the dot matrix, and we'll then raise it all the way across. You'll measure from the corner of the hoods, making sure it's level on both sides, and then we'll cut it out. So you could see the film is to the bottom of the dot matrix there. You come over to this side where I measured up from the corner of the hood, and I measured over there on that corner, and it is now equal. I'll then go ahead and use just a little paint pen or a piece of tape here so I know where that mark is. So after I cut this out, because it's going to end up being a 2-piece of film, And that way I know when I bring it to the inside where it needs to set. So sometimes you got to get creative trying to see through that film and end to cut alongside this dot matrix here. It can be a pain. So if you use a white sheet of paper, white paper towel, or even just a light if you've got a helper to hold in the inside, then you could, I don't know if it'll pick up in here, but you're able to see where to cut along that dot matrix at. Once that's done, and this is just all extra, you just peel it out, and there's that two-piece visor I was talking about. Now that your film is cut out, it's sitting on the outside, it's marked down on the corners with a little paint pen or tape. Over here you don't have to mark it because it goes to the bottom of the dot matrix there. Once that's done, it will then be transferred to the inside, and you'll peel the liner off from it, the protection liner, off this opposite side, so that way it sticks to this side on the inside. So you're cutting on the outside, you're bringing it to the inside of the car. That's why you do a reverse roll. But before you do that, you're going to want to clean your windshield with soapy water. It could be baby soap, it could be Dawn, pretty much any kind of soap will work. You'll then go ahead, I use one of these little white scuffy pads. It's not abrasive, it's not going to scratch your glass. You can use a razor blade on your sides, but I don't recommend it on your windshield. As you've seen, I used a little rubber squeegee after I scrubbed it with that white non-abrasive pad. Scrubbed it with a little rubber squeegee, or wiped it down with the rubber squeegee. Then I took a paper towel around the edge just to get any dirt that may have been along the edge. I'll now go ahead and apply soapy water again on the inside, take the film, pull the liner off, bring it to the inside, and apply it. And there it is, the driver's side is done. Right to the bottom of the dot matrix there. Crossed over to the little mark I made on the outside. Let's do that. Now you're just going to want to rinse and repeat. Do the same to the other side. There's the finished product. So the last thing I'm going to do is just take that spray away, a couple blue shop towels, and just clean it up. I'm sure you guys noticed I use this little blue hard card. That's what I was saying. You could use a credit card and just wrap a blue paper towel around it, and then just go along your edges, pushing out any of that excess water. But you'll first want to go over it with that squeegee to lock it down. There we are, 15% window film. This is global window film. One thing I'd like to make note of is you probably want to put a towel down across your dash. I usually try and wipe it up as quick as possible if I don't have one. You just don't want to get your screen wet and down in your vents and everything, but it dries up pretty quick, usually not a worry. Now much you guys can see of that, but if you like the video, let me know. I'll be making another one on a S&B air intake.